going to do a photo study today. Instead of playing games as I usually do, because I don't feel like doing that right away. Or at least not right now. I didn't really start this, but I just did a little outline where this landscape kind of is. Basically just where this little mountain part is, and then I haven't really done the trees, but I did do the little light tower. I forgot the name for it. Pain. Alright. Seems to be doing fine. Alright. So this is on just the basic layer. I didn't really do much to the color yet, so I'm gonna do a gradient first. Kind of bluish. It's darker down than it is up, but that's fine. It's not really hard to change it, I suppose. Not that saturated though. So up here, a little more brighter area. Good to add into. Here they kind of meet this spot. Oh, wait, yeah, that's right. And then I guess going a little greenish, maybe dark green, but light. Maybe like this. Yeah, something like that. Would be pretty good for this area over here. Probably gonna be more bluish later, but just because it's a little different than the rest of it. We're gonna make it lighter, obviously, as it's going up. Maybe not as light, maybe just slight, maybe lighter. So there's much more blue in the reference, so add a little. Oh. like that, yeah. There is much lighter, like a very soft gradient, perhaps just to make it slightly lighter. But it's pretty bright over here in this spot. So I'm gonna take this blue for over here, which this is just pretty good, pretty well framed, I think. So for the lower part of this, it is pretty dark. Yeah. So we're first gonna cover it. Well, actually, I think I'm just gonna do some different layer because I'm gonna do some changes to the background layer where the sea is. Sometime later. I like this brush, but the edges aren't really that great with it, though, unfortunately. But it's a dark area anyway, so it doesn't really matter which brush we use here. It's just to fill up space anyway, and we're not adding any textures or anything right away, for obvious reasons. We first want to block in the colors and everything. This is where that little wall is. Right. There's some parts of this image we're not going to draw at all because I don't see the point. Which is basically this part, this little like tree in the background here. So alright. So now we can make this closer. Perhaps a little more desaturated. There we go. I'm just gonna make it a little bit darker because it's not really a sunny day. Most of this will be much redder, I think, and darker as we come back to it later, but for now we just want to kind of not mess around with it too much. Just want to block it in. This has like a little step, and it turns into a very thin line. But it also has the little wall pillars or whatever. I'm not sure. How would you call them? Little walls. The walls of the wall. This is much darker, so I'm just gonna think like this would be better. So the wall spans basically through the whole image. However, since it's far away, it's much smaller than when it is when it's close up. Which obviously is how perspective works. It's gonna be like tiny here, tiny. Like it would be much more desaturated. I think it's really far away. You wouldn't quite be able to tell the color of it, especially in this type of wet weather. Like even though bricks are very vibrant in color, just take this, make it smaller. You wouldn't really see it, I guess. You would just assume because you already are familiar with the object, what color it is, but it's not really a thing that's out there. See, I think it's even darker than what I put. Yeah, it's more orangey, and so we're just gonna put it a little over what I've already put. Alright, so that is that. Here I'm just gonna take this color to fill in the space. We have the line on, but I'm gonna make it like more, lower the opacity so I can see the wall better. A little bit more orangey there. Now we can just color this pathway here, which is pretty gray, dark. Well, not that dark. Whoops. Something like that. Yeah, maybe a little lighter than that, but it's fine. It's not really that important. As I said, we're just blocking in the colors. So now this one spans, I mean, it appears like it's a pretty big area, but it's not really. You color it in. That wall over there is actually pretty small, but it looks kind of big the way I drew it. but it's not like that. So there's a pathway coming from there. Alright. It doesn't really matter much to look at the reference at this point because I'm just trying to put these colors a little bit in there. Not really trying to set up a new color or anything. See here we kind of went all the way up to the wall, which is not really what is happening in the reference. In the photo. So I'm gonna take like a kind of like a grayish blue for the tower here. The colors aren't quite that color, but it's really just because I want it to stick out on its own. Alright. Colors are more like dark blue and like some gray and stuff. Yeah. We're gonna fix up the shape a little later. The shapes aren't really that much important at the moment. So the way it stands in is the bushes that appears. But we're gonna add the bushes a little later because I want to add them on a different layer so they don't interact with the ground that I made. Because they're going to be a little different. Alright. But, yeah, I guess we could just put them there a little, like they're pretty dark, I can tell. So, they're gonna be like over here and stuff. That's a little less important. We wanna do this wall over here. If we could get probably like a color between these two colors somewhere around here. Yeah. It's gonna be gray, but not quite gray. Probably more in the yellow side. By the looks of it. Yeah. What I tend to do mostly is just do the background first. I do that for acrylic paintings as well, as doing the background allows you to do the other parts of the image easier. And you know, you want to make sure, especially if you're doing traditionals, that your background elements don't like interfere. Like if you do the foreground or the midground first and then you gotta do the background, you're probably gonna mess up some values and stuff like that, so you wanna fix that. Okay, well, there's gonna be green there, so we don't really have to currently do anything at that spot. But what we will do is gonna go back to the background because it's easier now since we have the landmark and stuff like that. Let me just fix these little blotches. It is here basically to help us determine the color of the sea a bit better. See, yeah, that's not that dark. That's fine. Because the line is basically here where the we're gonna make this more blue. Line is where the line of the land top is as well, where the cliff is, which is gonna help us. So there isn't much difference, as you can see, as the transitions are very subtle, oftentimes, as the sea and the sky get together. For obvious reasons, because of the fog and some other. We can see here that it's much brighter than it is in our image at that spot. So we're gonna make that brighter. Like that. And we also gonna make some sea stuff. I'll see which brush would probably be the best out of these ones here that I have. These ones are pretty nice. These are supposed to emulate watercolor and Grita. I'm not quite sure how well they do that, but they're alright. I do like these brushes. Hello, welcome. Today we're painting Photostudy. What are you doing today? Most of these brushes, as I was saying, I like. Even though I don't really think they emulate watercolor that well, but I mean, they do, but not how you would necessarily use watercolor. They emulate the effect watercolor has, but not necessarily how you would use watercolor, if that makes sense. It's not quite the same. Make this a little brighter there. I mean, more like, how was your day so far before watching the anime and draw shit? This one's probably much upper. I think I put it a little low here, so I'm gonna fix that up. Actually, I'm gonna do it this way, and then I'm gonna take this color, which will make it appear as if it's a little foamy more than it is. And then later we're gonna add this bit more of that white for texture. Oh, why is that? Sorry to hear that. This method might work pretty well. Add a bit more of this white over here. Take the color that we had previously and then like kind of intersperse it with each other to create the little foamy thing that the water does. When it's kind of simple like this, it's same and hard at the same time to create. But I guess it's more of how elements of painting interact with each other more than something else. Taking bigger brushes allows us to make marks that are lighter but have bigger impact. This spot here is a bit more blue than we saw originally, so we are going to do a little gonna add that a little bit like that. Oh no. Why not? I hope I didn't have anything to do with that. Yeah, I give pretty good advice if you need some. This here. Let's see. Oh, I actually didn't even notice that the area was webbed. Oh, that's weird. Oh, I was wondering why it was so dark, but I guess now it makes sense. Probably so they can grow shit, I guess. Oh, that looks a little weird. It looks pleasant though, I guess. Alright. Here, that would be there. Alright. This one over here. Take this, make it smaller. Okay, that's good. But yeah, if you need advice, if it's a personal problem, obviously. If it's something else, then maybe I probably can't help. Let me see. Over here. Making these more subtle parts of the painting is actually tends to be a little more difficult than making more bold decisions on what something's going to look like. Alright, this one maybe a stronger one. No, webbed, like a web, a spider web, webbed, not wet. Here I'll zoom it in. See, it has this thing that's thrown across the rocks. Usually people throw things like this if the rock structure is not very stable and they don't want anybody to get hurt. That's what I said. Therapies in Apex? Hell yeah. That's fine. I don't. I play Apex regardless. No worries, no worries. No heartbreak will occur. I'll make this a little darker. It's probably a lot more darker. Let's stand out. Like that. Alright, and now we're gonna take this one, make it big. It's probably my favorite brush. It always leaves. It's not always easy to use, but generally it leaves the markings I want it to leave. So, hell yeah. Okay, and then this one for the foamy bits. Well, I will. You'll be happy to be disappointed. I did not. I just happen to sniff sometimes when I play. I'm not sick either, so I don't know. What did I say when I play? I don't know. It's just kind of cold in this room, but not quite cold. Like it's cold a little bit, you know. But what I'm curious though, what kind of three emotions do I have? What are the three? Enlighten me. Let's see, maybe this one. This one's alright. I think I need this more flat. Let's see if there's a more flat brush than the ones I currently have, or I guess I could probably also. Nope, not that one. Probably this one. And then we can just take this and take the color off as we want, which should give us the look we're looking for, at least somewhat. Yeah, seems to work out pretty well. And take this, let's see. Funny, angry, silent, and annoying. Interesting. Angry? What makes you say that? When was I angry? I don't remember being angry around you like once. What are these emotions you're speaking of? I'm not familiar with them. Like that. Now we can make this more slider. This one in the background over here. Whoops, got a little technical issue. Disconnected there for a second. That's fine. Alright, I do that. Now let's move on to this. Also, this is basically just a little bit darker, maybe more bluish or something like that. Yeah. Also lock it. This brush is pretty good for this. Pretty dark here, so I'll put some of that back. Probably can make it even darker here, or maybe blue. It's gonna make it look darker, even if it isn't dark. Well, sometimes it might look lighter, but not in this case. And then on the upper part, there's a lot of green. A lot of green. Probably can make this a little darker, maybe. This one here is gonna be the brightest, so we can just do that. That. This one over here, like this. Okay. So I need that one. Probably. Let me just look through my brushes a little. That one. Maybe that one. Yeah, it's gonna make it look nice. This one has a much stronger cutout here, so I'll do that as well. This up over here. Here it's mostly the brighter one, so I'm actually gonna put more darker ones. Maybe that one. I think this is more on the blue side here, so I'm gonna put some of those so that we can later just put the brighter ones on top. It's gonna be easier that way. The other way around. Here it's much darker, so huh? I do wonder why they put the little blanket thing over this. It's a little weird, not gonna lie. So let me go closer here, just it's in there. On top here. Alright. There we go. There's a little brighter part over here, I think. So make it like that. There we go. Right, so here we can add, I'm going to actually add those earlier trees that I didn't add initially. Let me see. I think these are really small, so I should probably use a different brush for this. Like that. Oh, well, this one would be good for this. Cool. Maybe this one, I wonder how would it be? Yeah, it makes a little bushy appearance, so we're gonna use that one. Um, 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess I could probably make a base with those and then add a little bit of that. Okay, this last one is really small over here, so. Then there's one big bush before the row of more of these. Alright. Number of these isn't overly important or anything, it's just, I think, making it. I'm just counting them for the fun of it, I guess. Go. These ones are going to, they're more closer to the bottom as well. So they're basically going over here, but that's like less important because there's this big part here. 1, 2, 3, like third here somewhere like this. Big bushy boy. Takes up most of this spot over here. So these ones in the background don't really matter as much as this one. Covers most of that, so. Then we can take this and make him look bushy. Oops. Wrong color. This one that's closer is not as bushy looking because it's you can see its shape better, but we want to give those the little edges anyway. So I pushed it to the corner of the canvas, even though here it's not. But that is fine because I already said I'm not gonna do the background ones, this big tree here or whatever's happening behind, as I am not interested in making them. So, a bit of that. I will make these ones here, the palm trees, I think. I will add those because they're gonna add interest along with the thing in the middle. So here, now let's see, it's that one. That's the trees. Most of the time when doing these, you want to be a little more zoomed out than I am right now. That's also because my laptop's a little far from me, so I can fit my tablet in. So, or this one. Oh wait, I'm doing it on the wrong layer. I was like, it's not making any marks. I wonder why. Alright. This one has much more, I guess, stronger color than it appears because it's little indents over there. So the reason I actually wanted to paint this is because I thought it was pretty satisfying to see this slope over here. In general, I guess the painting was very the photo was very well balanced as well. But the slope I thought was probably the most interesting part about it. But yeah, now I know why, because it has that. I thought it looked very soft for a cliff or whatever. Yeah, but it did have a reason. So, I'll make this a bit greener. Yeah. That. This one goes up here. Maybe brighter even. Let's see how bright that is. See, that's not that much brighter. It's just a little. It's a little more. It's a little brighter. Just gonna add there. So over here, there is going to be a lot of these. I want to add a little interest, but not too much. Just a little bit of that that's going to be covered by the new layer of this. So let's go look at some of these stamps that I have. Now there's one that I always take, but I always forget also which one is it. It's not this one, but this one is pretty good in general. So okay, here it's, if you look at the reference, it's a bit more, there's not a lot of green there, but there is like some streaks of yellow. So we're going to do that. Take this one, just like some streaks in there. Probably this one would be better, but we're gonna make it small. It's a little too small. Like that. Maybe just slightly the other one. That. Alright. Gonna make that. Now let me get this a little. If you look at the distance, you can see that there's a darker spot. We're going to make this pretty dark. Over here, top. Should probably use maybe a different brush for it. We'll go for this one. Up top, that kind of circles around over here as well, and you could probably use the same color for the bottom of this tree. It's probably gonna be darker even more than this spot for now. That one. that. Alright. No. Now there's the clear line over there. But I'm gonna make more yellow. Just a tiny bit brighter. So I can basically scratch it in. Sorry about that noise in the background, by the way. That is just my heater. This is not this yellow really, so like if you click on it, it's actually, well, I wasn't too far off, I guess. It's just more, how to say it, there's a lot of colors here basically. But the more brighter ones, I guess, are more saturated. And the ones I picked, which is fine. It's not really a big deal or anything. I have a little shape here, so I'm going to try and get that. Just gonna try and bring back that fence as well. Both should give it some more depth. Because currently we don't really have a lot of it. To that particular place, that is. This one. So the spot we're going to make much darker, I think. That, yeah. Just gonna go over those. Now, this brush usually gives some good texture, but it's also very gonna lower its opacity. It's very opaque as well. There's a lot of very high contrast grass here, so gonna try and get some of that contrast in. So a little bit of this brush, bigger size, just get a little stamp on it. Okay, this one that I made yellow, I think it should probably be better if I made it more like that. Maybe yellow is better. Maybe blue, yellow. Let's pick it from there. Well, yeah, it's practically the color I chose. Just that it blends a little bit better with the composition of the photo, obviously, than with what I'm doing currently. Oh, we'll get there. Not a problem. We're gonna make this much more in that tone and darker. Add a little bit of that. And this one. These ones was just simple, like the textures that look simple end up taking longer than necessary, I think, for some reason. Because I keep changing, I think, the approach to it, so it's constantly fighting me. So here, these ones are primarily dark first. Probably not that dark though, but yeah, even brighter. Let's see what else. I'll try a little bit of that. That tends to give pretty okay textures as well. Things like this. Okay, I guess I can add a little bit of it here, I think. Add a little nice. A nice texture. Alright. So this one over here, I was going to use the brush I use for the bushes as well. I multi-purpose this brush for many different textures, basically, because it's pretty good to make a scratchy look, kinda. It's coherent enough. It wouldn't really bother the rest of the image with its presence. Make that like that. There's a lot of green in this image. A lot of bright green at that. Doing the tapping with this brush very lightly to try and leave the marks I want. This one feels more green than it is, I think. Probably should have. Let me. Background's just sitting like this, but this one is not as dark, I think. Probably can use some of these colors over here to lighten it up a bit. Oops, didn't mean to zoom in that much. See, when I need to find a leaf. That one. Yeah, it doesn't appear that green when you like looking at it. I guess it appears more like if you're interacting with it more or less. Yeah, no, that texture, it's not quite looking well. texture generally works for these type of things. Alright. I have to get a darker one as well in there. This is still a bit too yellow, I think. Just gonna go over it a little bit. This one has more dark textures, darker. The other one, let me actually get this one, I think. This one's probably way better. We need a little dark going through. Okay. Okay, now we don't want this photo study to take too long, so we'll see later if we can add a little bit more texture or fix this up a bit more. But for now, we're moving on to the fence, which has just been sitting there for a while, I think, and we've neglected it. So time to work on these bricks. This was pretty dark by the looks of it. It's pretty red too. Would that be the color perhaps? Let me see. Oh, it's not too far off, but it's not that close either. But alright. I'm just gonna use this one as the darker color for no really specific reason. This one is the lighter color. Then do we pick off the image just to check if it's correct or not. Okay. So this one's a little brighter, I think, than necessary, but yeah. We're gonna add the little lines later. For this one, I just wanna make correct. Okay, second. I just wanna make correct these little walls. Make them look correct before I add any texture, because add more definition. I mean, obviously definition is fine. Okay. This is kind of where the next one is, maybe even more. Yeah, because this one gets really skinny over here. Yeah. It's like that. Is there something over that? Why can't I color it over? Alright, so the next one is over here. Little colors. That. Then the next one's over there, but this one's longer. And so on and so forth. But these are bit brighter, I think. Maybe more orangey as well. Well, maybe not that orangey, but like that. Then after that, they just kind of come after one after the other one. Pretty sure. For that pathway there. Okay, cool. Here, we're just gonna level this a little bit. This one, make it a little darker. Oh, maybe more saturated as well. Like that. That one there. It should also be pretty useful for the wall here. That shows up as well as the wall here. Shows up in the next one, but that one is very, very small, so can't quite notice it, I think. Here. Need this blue one, yeah. It's getting one brighter. That one. That one. 1, 2. Oh, picked the wrong color. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Something like that. Oh wait, no, there's more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6. Something like that. Doesn't really matter that much anyway. Just gonna add some light. Go like that. Here we get some brighter. Maybe not that bright, but that one's fine. That. This one looks like it gets even darker, at least by the angle perhaps or something. So we're just gonna make it darker. Yeah, I think that looks better. This one darker. Hello, hello. Yeah, well, water's pretty easy, I think, like this. I think I'm mainly having issues with some of this grass. Or whatever it is. I can't even tell what it is, actually. Like, I zoomed in, it looks like some sort of foliage. But I'm not quite sure what exactly it is, so. This is just there, I guess. Water isn't too bad, I think. It's just like there. And it's a study. It's not really that necessary, I think, to make it look that good. Or anything. I'm over here trying to get this one, yeah. I made this color way brighter than it is. Put that in. Like that. Alright, now we go to this one. Center's much darker than the rest of it. Mm. I really like painting water. I don't think it's that hard or anything. I guess what I thought for me it was hard before, but it's not anymore. Um, I mean, mostly in traditional, it's not really anymore. But in digital, I haven't really painted it too much. And that's mainly because there's a traditional oil and acrylic painter on YouTube. Robin Sealark, I think she goes by. And the way she compartmentalized the painting when she was she has many water paintings. And in one of them, I don't remember which one now, to be honest, but I remember watching it. I was like, oh, well, that makes perfect sense when she does it that way, which helped me just make it easier, honestly. So yeah, I mean, it's even easier in digital. It doesn't really. The water mainly has like. I also watch some other traditional YouTube painters, and a lot of them do water often. So I guess it's one way to pick it up. Yeah, but that's what makes it fun, you know? You can make it do whatever you want. I mean, generally, if I remember right, you would have the dark part. Actually, let me just put this on emulator so I can easily erase it later. You would just have like the mid-tone, and then you can have some dark parts where the water would be. Sometimes the dark parts meet and sometimes they don't. And then you would have like some lighter parts above, generally sometimes on the edge where they meet and stuff. But then if you have another like light source, perhaps, or the way the water reflects the color, like here would change and interact with this color and things like that. But I don't think it's really that difficult. The water's fun. I mean, especially if it's simple like this, it's more like how texture works rather than how hard it is to do it. I mean, the texture is what is difficult. But yeah, I mean, generally digital is easier than traditional, I find. Because, like, things just. You can just do things easy and fast. I think speed is probably the biggest thing for digital art. Everything's just faster. You don't have to wait for anything to dry. You don't have to clean up your brushes. You don't have to do anything like that. Yeah, that kind of applies to mostly every. How do I call it? That applies for every object. So it really just depends on what way it reflects the thing. Because if you look at it from a downward angle, it is more likely to appear to reflect things that are right across from it. So for example, if you see painters that paint lakes are still water, so they're going to reflect like mountains or whatever is kind of far away, right? Or interacting with them as well in that sense. But if you're looking at moving water, things like rivers and stuff like that, moving water generally doesn't reflect things that are too far away from it. It reflects, if it's very fast, it's going to be most of the time white because it's going to hit things. But in case of, just a second, but in case of if it's like flowing water but slow, it generally reflects just forest around it. If you've been in a like, if you have a river in your city, you can go and walk by it, and then try to look into the water and see what types of things it reflects, which building it reflects, And you can check at different times of different weathers. So when it's really like rainy and whatever, it's not going to reflect the buildings at all because the river's going to become like brown or whatever, right? Um, Generally, that's not always the rule. It really depends on the river and stuff like that. But even if it's brown, the river still reflects things around it. But now it just doesn't reflect them in a way you can see it clearly. It reflects them instead in a way like this part of the river is darker, even though generally it doesn't seem to be sitting in the dark. It's because it's reflecting the building that's kind of near it and stuff like that, you know? Water is great. I love water. Can you tell? Yeah, yeah. Mm. Traditional feels way more satisfying though. I don't know. Like I haven't been doing. See these little tree trunks. I haven't been doing digital for long, like for maybe about a year and a half now or something like that. But definitely traditional feels more satisfying. Like the process in general feels satisfying, and with digital, it's feels more frustrating sometimes. I think. But with traditional painting, you also have the added bonus of owning your painting right away. I mean, you own like digital paintings if you make prints and whatever, right? But if you don't, then you don't. Gonna make this. I'm actually gonna just pick this corner here. I mean, I like digital. I mean, I would stop doing it if I didn't like it, obviously, but traditional is also kind of more of a hassle to start doing, I guess. You have to prepare all your materials. You gotta take care of your materials. And then there's drawing time, and I don't know. Well, digital is just like plug it in and just draw, paint away. It doesn't really matter. And some aspects, especially like if I consider concept art, is super fast when doing. This one's really dark. Super fast, super fast. Speed paintings. Like if I was doing this study in watercolor or acrylic or something, I could do it relatively fast, right? But definitely not in the same amount of detail as I can in digital. And even for the amount of time I set for myself, it's still not a lot of detail in general anyway. So yeah, but I mean generally I have mine pretty compactly. My materials pretty compactly placed, so it's really easy to set them up and start painting. But it just feels like more of a chore to set up to paint than just taking out a tablet. Plus, you don't need to like wash out your brushes or anything afterwards. But even despite all of that, I still like traditional painting better. I think this one's just easier. It's just easier and faster to do. While that one, I feel like I have to commit. Like I don't know. I guess the difference is kind of like if you when you have a YouTube video you want to watch, but one is on a topic you or somebody has editing that you actually have to pay attention to appreciate it fully, versus somebody just talking about a random topic and you can just do whatever you want in the background and while they're talking about the topic. Kind of like that. Feels kind of like that. I mean, concept art in general that people do really fast is not meant to be a finished painting. It's supposed to. There's a lot of paintings that it's kind of like mastering the art of making a fast painting that looks good, but a professional eye can clearly tell it's not finished. Right? It's kind of like that. Just gotta make him believe it's done. There's little windows down here. Let's see. So maybe a little too dark. Let me put it this way. Thanks. It's I think I'm gonna probably finish it in about 10 minutes, because that's the time limit I set myself. Sleep well. Have a good night. Thank you for joining. It's about to be midnight for me too. That was like that. Just making more background over here would probably help. A little railing and a bit of that. Alright. Alright, the railing, there it is. Gotta make this one a bit more. Give it some color. Pigments reflecting it. Alright. This one feels like it has like a tiny bit bluer part. That, okay. Maybe not that strong. It's a little too small. Just want this wall to be a little more see-through the bushes there. Here. Probably take a different brush for this. Maybe this one, yeah. I'll make this one smaller and as much, there's a lot more beneath, unfortunately, for me. I don't need to work a little bit more on it. Okay. Alright. Gotta make these more. This one's very 2D, so I'll make slight changes to it, like making this side brighter, make it smaller. There we go. And making this one just slightly darker. As well as these things. That. The blue ones also need a bit lightness. Make it 3D looking. Ah, that's better already. Even though if it's in a distance, it still gives off some of those vibes. 2, 3, 4, 5. Could probably just add that as well. Maybe a better brush. This one needs to go darker here. Oh well, I guess it's been an hour and a half. I'm not going to add more. Because you can always just keep adding more. What are we drinking? Just water. I could add more. I could work on more. But since the study, I set the timer for myself hour and a half. I don't want to make them longer because there were some studies before I decided to put in that rule that you can just keep painting. You can just keep going, and going and seeing everywhere that's not quite looking right, and you want to, add a little bit of here, a little bit of there. But you gotta, I say you gotta stop, but I keep trying to add small things. Can't help it. But yeah, generally, there was a study where I went like 6 hours on it. I think. I don't know if it was that much, but it was like, yeah, that's like a lot of hours. I could have probably made like a simple-ish painting for that time, and I spent it on a study. It was a good study, looked good, but but that's too much time for a study. If I want to get faster at it, okay, yeah, I'm done with it. There's like gazillion things I could also like add, but I'm not gonna. Just gonna put it up here in the corner. Alright, there we go. So that's the study. Definitely could have done better on the textures, but it's alright. It's fine. You would have guessed Monster or Red Bull. Why? Energy drinks taste like shit. To be honest, water is best. I mean, you wish you liked energy. Most energy drinks taste like piss. I wouldn't really. I don't think. I don't think you wanna like them. Nah, it's good for study, but like it's kind of trash though. I done better before. Listen, if you have if we're talking drinks, you know what? I'm gonna just draw random shit since we're talking about this. Let me open a new file. If we're talking about drinks, okay, tea is fine. Coffee kind of tastes bad, to be honest. Milk is fine, but all the like Coke, Pepsi. Okay, Pepsi's fine. Like occasionally, right? But drinking them all the time, they just taste bad. They taste like you're just drinking sugar, which is like, why? Why would you do that to yourself? It doesn't even taste good. Like, I mean, if you want something sugary, just eat something sugary instead, versus just drinking sugary drinks. Yes, drink tier list. Water at the top. It is best. And you can't convince me otherwise. Water is just the best drink out there. I mean, right? Like, it's just so good, bro. Especially like if you're really thirsty and then you can just chug water. You know, there's that meme about like drinking water like an animal. Yes. It's just good, bro. He's like, but it's too, it's too annoying to make, to be honest. Water is C tier? This man did not just say water is C tier. B tier at best. What kind of water do you have? What kind of water do you drink that the water is B tier? Like, I have really good water here. I can drink tap water here, so it's, cold water. Just gotta let it flow just a tiny bit, and you're gonna get some good ass tap water, bro. You know? Gets A+ for being a necessity, but drops points for lacking in flavor. Do you like lemon water or something? Yeah, see, potato has a point. You can always drink water. You don't really get tired of drinking water. Probably precisely because you can't taste the flavor. You know? Like, I mean, imagine if you had to drink like Coca-Cola all the time to survive. God, I would lose my mind. Like, can you imagine that? Horrible. That's like, these people, like, God cursed me, basically, if that's the case. Yes. Yes. Ah, well, you seem the type. They would just drink too much cola. But it's not like cola sometimes. Okay, listen. Cola sometimes hits good, right? Depending with what meal you eat it. Occasionally, it's like, okay, that really hit good. But all the time, like, how can you drink that all the time? It's just, It's not quite. I wouldn't really say it's nice or anything. Coca-Cola all the time sounds bad, but Fanta all the time sounds like a dream. Cola B tier. I'd put cola in like, let me think. A B C D E F E. Probably like in like D tier. I would put cola in D tier. It's sometimes good, but I drink it once in 6 months because it's like I guess. Pepsi's better than cola though, but they're both D tier. They're like both D tier, you know. Like, I mean, I'd rather drink Pepsi than cola. Cola's just too carbonated. Pepsi's just like carbonated just right, you know. But they practically taste the same. If we're talking about those two. Alright, well, I don't drink alcohol, so I can't really rate those. In general, alcohol seems very unappealing. I can't really get into the debate where beer stands or doesn't stand on, I'm afraid. Also, Fanta's like basic as fuck, bro. Really, you like Fanta every day? I'm not sure about that. I think you just like carbonated drinks. I think that's what it is. It's not necessarily the flavor that much. Because if it was about the flavor, then you'd be like, oh well, orange juice every day or something. But it's the carbonation. You're projecting, man. I'm just gonna tell you that you're projecting. I literally said nothing like that. Nah, juice is just too sweet. Nah. Not in my devil grave. No. Juice is like meh. Juice is B or maybe C, like C plus tier, something like that. Juice is just, it's just a lot of sugar. I mean, okay, exception. Depends how sugary the juice is, right? So if the juice is not, if it doesn't have a lot of sugar, there's some juices without sugar at all. I like those. They're like, okay, if water is S tier, juice can be A tier if it has very little sugar. I'll give it that. However, if it's one of those really sugary juices, then it's like that is just meh. I'm not down for it. Probably not gonna drink it. Take like half a glass or something. Oh yeah, grapes, amazing. Grapes are very good. I forgot what I put them in my tier list of fruit. It's somewhere on my channel, but I don't remember what I rated it. But it's high up there. I'm pretty sure grapes are amazing, but only white grapes. The black grapes are meh. Cause they're like with or purple grapes. How are they called in English? I don't know. Like purple grapes or something. White grapes all the way, bro. You know why you don't like sugar? Because you're... No, I actually really like sugary foods. I just don't like sugar in my drinks. It's probably somewhere in A tier, like, I'm pretty sure. You can rewatch it if you want. You know, just get those views in, bro. But grapes are amazing. I very much like grapes, but the white grapes. The you know, you say white are sour, but like purple grapes are always bitter. Well, not bitter is the bitter word for it. Like they're just not it. They're not one of those soury that's nice. They're just not quite. You're still pressed about the pineapple in D tier. Listen, I just haven't tried it like fresh, that's all. Maybe if I try it one day fresh, then I'll change my mind. It's great in cakes, as I said. I don't know why you're so upset about the pineapple, bro. She just said... Potato just said pineapple is E tier. How do you feel about that? Listen, if a fruit takes a long time to eat, it just lowers its number one. Number two, if fruit is kind of hard to attain in certain parts of the world, it also lowers its number because it's way less chance you're gonna get it fresh. You know? Listen, you need to learn to be accepting towards different opinions. Listen, watermelon, S tier, S tier, bro. Ain't no fruit ever came close to watermelon. Watermelon is just amazing. No, it depends which grape. The grapes, the purple grapes, I don't really like them. They're just not. They're weird. They're weird in my mouth. I don't like them. But I do like white grapes. They're amazing. Very, very good grapes. Would always pick... I don't think I ever even buy the purple grapes because I don't like them. You didn't just say watermelon is F tier. Really? Really? Why? Why do you think watermelon is F tier? Oh my god, I feel personally attacked. where you know that meme, and I took that personally. I just took this personally. Watermelons are so good, bro. They're so good. Listen, here we gasp because somebody said something unbelievable, but we tolerate it, you know? She just said watermelon after your bruh. Are you disguised? Are you one of my friends disguised? Seeds are so good, bro. Plus, don't you have like seedless watermelons, which is a blasphemy on the existence of watermelons. Can I just say that? Blasphemy. I do not accept seedless watermelons as a thing that should exist. Now when that's out of the way. Seedless watermelons do exist though, but seeds are the best, bro. They're really good. I love the seeds. I eat the seeds on their own too. Like when I finish eating watermelon and you have seeds left over, I just eat the seeds. Seeds are best. I mean, watermelon is better than the seeds, obviously, than the watermelon seeds, but seeds are, you know, they enhance the experience. Well, we don't have them here. Is that a typo slip? Honey melon? Is that like a... Oh, that one. I do have those other melons, which I always forget the name of. Cantaloupes? Yeah. What's the difference between a honey melon and a cantaloupe? I have no idea. I thought they were the same, but when I look at the pictures, they look different, so. We only had cantaloupes here. Yeah, we don't have seedless watermelons here either, but I know that Americans have them. And maybe somewhere else, there's probably, there's somewhere, you know. Just gonna engineer that. What? I did not. I was reading the chat. Listen, I know you like to think highly of yourself, but I'm sorry. I do not have those sort of affections for you. I do have for your girlfriend though. I mean, listen, everybody thinks they have weird taste until you start talking with others about your taste. And then everybody else has wrong taste. But watermelons are so good, bro. So juicy, so tasty. Easily the best fruit out there. Why don't I stream Apex? Because my connection and my laptop can't handle it. I have tried it and I've streamed it. However, what has happened was it becomes a slideshow. So yeah, I can't stream it, unfortunately. I would if I could. No streaming Apex for me though, I'm afraid. Let's see. Sorry, I accidentally hit the mic. You're the dude who hates lasagna and tomato sauce. I mean, I don't like tomato sauce or anything related to tomatoes. Like, ketchup is All right, I guess. Like if it's in a certain meal, I'll eat it, I guess, but not really on its own. Let's see. And lasagna is really weird to eat, man. There's just too many layers. There's just too many layers to it. Potato pizza is a tier. Is A tier, margarita is S tier. Potato pizza? Wait, I didn't even know there was that. I didn't. There's a potato pizza, really? Huh. I didn't. Wait, that's a thing? I need to Google this. Hello, Mia. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Oh my god, it's a thing. But why would you... Like, that just... It's like... Potato and bread together, just very hard to eat. Well, I mean, if you're a person who would constantly drink everyday cola and Fanta, then I don't really am not surprised if you do like things that are very thick. Use the yeah, what YouTube money? I got zero YouTube money. One day maybe. I don't even know where I'm going with this character. Where am I going with this character? I don't know. I guess I'll just think like that. Yeah, imagine liking lasagna. This post is made by not liking lasagna gang. Oh, what do I do with this? Something like that. Mm-hmm. Man, bunch of food is just hard to eat, you know? Especially, like, I mean, I have eaten a lasagna a few times in my life, not overly, like, not too often, but I always found it's just a lot. It just takes a long time. There's a lot of, it doesn't really taste that great. Like, it doesn't taste bad, but it's not like, oh my god, I am itching to try this and eat this again. It's just, okay, that was an interesting meal that I'm going to forget about until maybe next 8 months and be like, oh, maybe we could get a lasagna. Sorry. It's fine, bro. Hey, we got a painting. We got a little demon that's mad. Okay, sleep well, and I'm go play Apex. So thank you for everybody that was watching. I'm end the stream here, and see you next time, maybe. Thanks. Bye.